I was raised by my mother and my two Russian immigrant grandparents who loved me more than life. My grandmother gave me that unconditional love that all of our grandmothers give you. And out of all of the people that raised me, I'll never forget one of them, and that would be my grandfather, because my grandfather was the first person in my family to recognize that I was musical. And I don't know how he did that because we couldn't afford an instrument or anything. But somehow Grandpa figured out that this little kid had music in him. And every Saturday afternoon he would take me across the Brooklyn Bridge to Times Square, where he had found this record your own voice booth. You put a quarter into this thing and you could sing or you could talk, and they would give you back a scratchy little record to take home. And the first time he did this, he tried to get me to sing Happy Birthday to a cousin of mine, and I was so young, I didn't know what he was trying to get me to do. And we still have this scratchy record in my family. So I'm gonna play you a little piece of this scratchy record so you can hear Grandpa and Baby Barry, okay? So Brian, if you got it ready, hit the button, and this is Grandpa.
All right, I have to go, come on, go ahead. Yeah, I have to go. Sing. I have to party, come on.
No, extra time.
Oh, go ahead, sing it, sing it, go ahead.
Where?
Come on, go ahead, sing it. I see, go ahead, come on, sing it.
This goes on for 10 minutes. But Grandpa wouldn't give up. Every Saturday afternoon, he would take me across the bridge to Times Square, and he put his quarter into this thing, and he tried to get me to sing something. And eventually, I figured out what he was trying to get me to do, and I sang something for him. And I liked it. I did. It wasn't so much the singing part, it was the music. I kind of, even at that young age, I kind of got it. Anyway, years later, after Mandy went #1, they booked us at Carnegie Hall. It was the biggest event ever. I invited everybody I'd ever met in my life to this concert. And Grandpa was there, and my family and Grandpa was there. And when I walked out on the stage of Carnegie Hall, scared to death, Grandpa stood up and gave me a standing ovation. And because he stood up, the whole audience stood up, so I got my first standing ovation there at Carnegie Hall. But when they sat down, Grandpa wouldn't sit down. He just stood there applauding, and I looked at him, and my fear just vanished, because I knew what he was thinking. He's thinking, there's my grandson on the stage of Carnegie Hall, down the block from that 25-cent record your own voice booth. Right? What a trip. You know, I think my grandfather must have known more about my future than I did. So whenever I sing this song, I think about Grandpa. This one will never sell, they'll never understand. I don't even sing it well, I try but I just can't. But I sing it every night, I fight to keep it in, 'cause this one's for you, this one's for you. Fantasies to lies, but this one's so real for me that I'm the one that cries, and I sing it every night, and I fight to hide the tears, 'cause this one's for you, this one's for you. Has been things I miss and things that used to be.